At the heart of the Wonder Years were its visionary creators, Carol Black and Neil Marlins. Before bringing Kevin Arnold's world to life, Black and Marlins had already made their mark in television. Marlins co-created Growing Pains, capturing family life with humor and heart, while Black's writing on shows like The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd showcased her keen insight into character-driven storytelling. With TV sitcoms like The Cosby Show and Family Ties dominating the 80s, Black and Marlins sought to create a family sitcom of their own, but one that transcended the typical sitcom format, aiming for a more nuanced portrayal of the trials and triumphs of growing up. They envisioned a show grounded in the reality of the 60s and 70s, reflecting the societal changes and personal milestones that define adolescence. We had done a television series, Growing Pains, and I think we learned a great deal from it, Neil Marlins said of him and his co-creator Carol Black in an interview with Rolling Stone. We had what was called an overall deal at New World Television, so we were basically paid to sit there and think of projects that we wanted to do. It took some emotional deep diving for Black and Marlins to come up with their show. Ultimately, it came from a recognition of their own growing pains as kids. I think the creative impetus came from our personal experience of having come of age in a period when there was so much turmoil in the world. And yet, the experience of being a middle-class suburban kid really wasn't that much different than it was 5 or 10 years earlier. It's just that it was in a whole new context as you got older, and as the implications of that started to get closer and closer to home. It kind of stirred things up in a way that seemed like a really interesting time, Neil explained. At the center of this universe Marlins and Black created was Kevin Arnold, an average 11-year-old boy growing up in the suburbs. The script for the show was innovative in its use of a running voiceover commentary from the perspective of the adult Kevin. We sat down and wrote the pilot and then walked upstairs to executive John Feltheimer's office and said, "We've written this pilot. We think it'll work as a series. How should we sell it?" ABC, with whom we had a pre-existing relationship, because we had a series there before, was the first to say, "We want to do this." They were the only ones, actually, Neil continued. Although the other networks passed on the script, executives at ABC were intrigued and saw how the show might appeal to the huge baby boomer audience. The network was behind in TV ratings and was willing to take a chance to get back on top. ABC gave the go-ahead for a pilot episode. With production company New World Television funding the show, Black and Marlins began auditioning. Casting the right ensemble was crucial. The search for Kevin Arnold led to a young Fred Savage, already a budding star with roles in films like The Princess Bride and vice versa.
Who gets Humperdinck?
I don't understand.
Who kills Prince Humperdinck? At the end, somebody's got to do it. Is it Inigo? Who?
Nobody. Nobody kills him. He lives.
You mean he wins? Jesus, Grandpa, what did you read me this thing for?
The producers offered Savage the job, and after discussions with his parents, he accepted.
How many other young gentlemen did you beat out for this role?
They came to me after they saw me in this movie. They sent me the script and they said, "We'd love you to take a look at this role and consider this part." And I was young, I was little, so it was really my parents that were like, you know, if we do this, like this could really change our whole life. And so they went back and forth, you know, on it for a long time.
They struggled with the idea of, because
if
this hit, this
in success, what could that mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? My mom told me that my dad was like, you know, if we see this on TV and some other kid is doing that part, like, could we live with that? And they're like, no. So we went to LA, I went with my dad. We flew out and met the people that wrote the show. And then I got that job.
Black and Marlins saw in Fred not just a talented young actor, but the heart and soul of their show. His ability to convey the complexities of youth, from the awkwardness of first love to the challenges of family dynamics, was unparalleled.
I just have to know if you like me or not. And don't give me any of that like me stuff.
Well, that was it. A straightforward, face-to-face yes or no question. And I was gonna stand there until I got my answer.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know?
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I wish everyone would just leave me alone. I don't know what I'm doing.
This was something new. I mean, I always figured girls knew exactly what they wanted. They knew. They had a plan. But maybe they didn't. Maybe they were just as confused as we were. Isn't that great? It's horrible. They don't know either. That means nobody knows.
Fred Savage brought Kevin Arnold to life and made his journey believable for all of us who've navigated the choppy waters of adolescence. Equally as important was the casting of Kevin Arnold's narrator. Daniel Stern, who had come to fame in the movie Diner, was approached to take over the role after it was initially given to the actor Aryeh Gross for the pilot episode.
Interesting story. I got the part. We did the pilot. And my contract was that I could go do movies, because that's what I was doing. So, you know, I could go do what I wanted to do, but I'd make space to record the thing. I had an audition for a movie that took place in Africa. And I mentioned it to one of the producers. I said, hey, I got this audition. He goes, you're gonna go to Africa? I said, I don't think so, but if I get the gig. The next day, I'm fired. I said, wait, why am I gone? Well, they're worried now that you're not going to be available to be doing the show. I said, I'm gonna be available. They said no. Anyway, they got rid of me and they aired it. A dear friend of mine, Ari Gross, did the pilot. And then a day or two later, they call up and say, we want you back. And I'm like, why? I mean, like, evidently my voice compared to Ari's voice, Ari's a great actor and a wonderful friend of mine, but for some reason they went like, oh, we'll have him back. And it was fantastic, because Ari did a great job, I assume. I mean, it was a great script, but I don't know why it went back to me.
The producers felt that the narration needed a different tone to fully capture the nostalgic and reflective essence of the show. Stern's voice had the right mix of warmth, humor, and a tinge of melancholy, which perfectly suited the show's tone, aimed at capturing the bittersweet nature of growing up.
And that's when I realized these guys were untouchable, like Teflon.
See you in history tomorrow.
And there you had it. The final chapter in my short and not so sweet membership in the upper crust of junior high society.
The creators knew that finding the perfect mom for Kevin, Norma Arnold, would be crucial. They needed an actress who could not only capture the era's shifting cultural and social dynamics, but also embody the nurturing yet progressive spirit of Norma. Enter Allie Mills. Before stepping into the shoes of the beloved matriarch of the Arnold family, Allie Mills was no stranger to the screen. With a career that spanned across theater, television, and film, Mills had already showcased her versatile acting chops.
Let me get this straight. You're asking me to act as a surrogate for some other woman so you can try out some technique? You're asking me, an adult woman, 24 years old and a law school graduate, to be a guinea pig in some sophomoric experiment in how to get the girl? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Just like to be clear.
But it was her role in The Wonder Years that would etch her name into the hearts of viewers.
I looked at the pilot. It had weird typing and all the things were crossed out. It was like a high school term paper or something, the script that I got. I so didn't understand what this voiceover was. It was the oddest thing. And someone said, no, this is the show, this is it. You have to get into this. What I thought was my neighbor when I was growing up, Mrs. Galen, Betty Galen, my best friend's mom, she was Norma. Really smart and just like the most giving person. Family always came first. That's what I sort of got from the pilot, was sort of Norma's core, was family always comes first. So just It wasn't repressing anything. It was just be a giver. Make that your sort of priority. And I based it on Betty, and I went in, and so I fought in a way that what I wanted was harmony instead of to win. And she told me every other actress that read it was modern in that it was a real fight between a man and a wife. And in this day and age, you know, it's not that type of thing. It's a kind of period thing, unfortunately, maybe, to just want harmony and want the outcome to be love.
Her ability to convey a deep sense of understanding, compassion, and quiet strength immediately resonated with the show's creators, Black and Marlins. Mills brought Norma to life, infusing her portrayal with a sense of hope and resilience that would become a cornerstone of the series.
Jack, I know how much you put into this car. We all know. All the hard work. It's worth 10 times what you're asking. But Jack, we don't need this car anymore.
Boys can help me push it into the garage so I'll have a little more light.
You've held it together longer than anyone could have expected, honey. No one could have done more. Now it's time to move on.
Think so.
Just let it go.
For the role of Kevin Arnold's father, the networks was hoping to land a famous name. But Black and Marlins lobbied hard for little-known theater actor Dan Lauria, who they worked with on the sitcom Growing Pains. The creators needed an actor who could embody the era's archetypal father figure, while also revealing the layers of tenderness and vulnerability beneath. When Dan Lauria auditioned, it was clear he possessed the gravitas and nuanced understanding of character the role demanded.
The Wonder Years comes, and Joanna Kearns reads about it. We were still going out. And she said, "Are you going to audition for Neil's show?" I said, "My agent said they can't get me in." And Joanna said, "Call him. Neil loves you." And I said, "I can't do that, so unprofessional." And she went, "Oh, don't be ridiculous." And she went in the other room. She talked to Neil. And Neil said, "I think Dan'd be great. Tell him to come to the casting office tomorrow." So I went there with 100 other people and just kept auditioning and auditioning. And ABC didn't want me. They wanted a movie star. They had a few names they mentioned: Elliot Gould, George Segal, good actors, solid actors. But Neil and Carol were adamant about it looking like the people who live next door as opposed to movie stars that might be recognized from big films. So that's how it all came about.
Lauria captured the essence of Jack Arnold, a man of few words but deep emotions, struggling to reconcile his traditional values with the rapidly changing world around him.
The hell do you know about Korea? I was in Korea. I lost a lot of good friends there.
Daddy, that doesn't have anything to do with what we're saying.
And they weren't brainwashed. They were brave men who weren't afraid to fight for what they believed in. Now, if you're afraid to fight, why don't you just say so? Why don't you just admit that you're chicken?
You're damn right. I am chicken. I don't want to die like your friends. What do you think that you achieved over there? Do you think that those people are free? They're not free, man. Except to buy Coca-Cola and Nestle's Quick, get loans from Chase Manhattan Bank.
That's crap.
You were used, man, and your friends were used.
That's crap!
Daddy, you never listen to what we say. Some of what we say is true.
Don't accept all this death and then justify it. It is wrong.
His portrayal promised a character that viewers could respect, sometimes fear, but ultimately love for his unwavering dedication to his family. For the rest of the show's main characters, Kevin's friends and siblings, Black and Marlins focused on picking young actors based on real-life traits rather than professional experience. For the role of Kevin Arnold's sister, Karen, the show's creators sought an actress who could embody the spirit of a generation seeking change, someone who could portray Karen's complexity with authenticity. British teen actor Olivia Dabo was casted as Karen Arnold.
I thought it was one of the best pilots that I had ever read. It was, it had just so many amazing components that felt like the perfect chemistry for something that was going to go for a really long time. And I so wanted the role. And I had very short hair at the time, and I realized that Karen was the quintessential hippie, and there was just no way that I could go in there with short hair. So I made an appointment with a place on 3rd Street for hair extensions, and I literally got hair extensions down to my arse. Bum. Sorry. What we say in England. Because I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go for it. I mean, it was really one of those visceral reactions that I had as an actor. I totally connected to her as a teenager. I was still a teenager at the time myself. I wanted to be bold and fierce, and I remember the audition scene was the burning your bras scene where I talk about Gloria Steinem, and I subsequently ended up having this amazing scene with Ally Mills when I went to go and test at the network. And so that was the scene that really got me fired up, and I just thought, you know what, I gotta go for it.
Dabo's audition brought Karen to life, showcasing her ability to balance the character's rebellious nature with vulnerability. Her portrayal displayed a character that was not just a stereotypical rebellious teen, but a nuanced representation of a young woman navigating her identity in a time of social upheaval.
Okay, we knew her name was Karen. But other than that, she might as well have been from Mars. Mars or Pluto.
The producers chose Danica McKellar to play Winnie Cooper, the love of Kevin's life, a character role initially created just for the first episode. However, after observing the natural chemistry between Danica and Fred Savage, the producers offered her a regular role.
The Wonder Years comes along, and I have an audition to play Winnie Cooper, which was just supposed to be a guest role on the first episode. If they knew from the beginning that it was going to be a series regular role, I never would have auditioned for it. So I auditioned for it. My sister also auditioned for it. It was a few auditions, and we both got called back. And I remember we were both there on a Friday evening, and they kept having us read again and again, and the room was getting smaller and smaller of the other little girls until it was 3 of us, and then the 2 of us. It was down to me and my sister. And they said, look, we're all gonna go to dinner, have a dinner break, and come back, and I want you to read with the lead actor. Okay. So we go downstairs in Studio City, this little restaurant, and I see this really cute little boy that looked around my age having dinner with his mom, and I was like, I wonder if that's him, and he was so cute. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope that's him. And sure enough, we went upstairs to do that final audition, and he was the one, and it was a really fun read. And that night, they told us, it came down to the 2 of us, me and my sister, for the role. Ultimately, they chose me, but they said, we love Crystal so much, we're going to write a role for her. And they did. She played Becky Slater, the little blonde nemesis of Fred Savage, for a while. They dated for a little while, then they were enemies, and we got to do some scenes together, and it was amazing.
McKellar brought a depth to Winnie that went beyond the script, capturing the nuances of young love, the pain of loss, and the strength of character that Winnie would become known for. It was evident that McKellar wasn't just playing Winnie. She was Winnie.
Hi, Kevin. Hi, Paul. Winnie Cooper? Gwendolyn. I don't want to be called Winnie anymore. My real name is Gwendolyn.
Well, there was no question now. We were entering uncharted territory.
For the role of Kevin's older brother, Wayne, the creators needed someone who could embody the classic big brother archetype, teasing tough, but with an underlying depth. So they chose actor Jason Hervey, already making waves in Hollywood. With roles in 80s films and television shows, Hervey brought a natural charisma and a knack for playing the character you love to hate.
They wanted me to kind of keep being, a little bit meaner, a little bit, more sarcastic, a little bit less caring, a little bit more nonchalant, just a little bit more cruel, torturing your little brother, and just enjoy. I think it was just enjoy being mean, not just being mean. I think that was kind of like the big note was, relish and really enjoy being mean, as opposed to just being mean because you're mean. You know what I mean? And then I was like to my parents, I think I did pretty good, on this one. And I followed their direction and, let's see. And then about 2 weeks later, get a phone call back, and they wanted to bring me to network. They wanted to bring me to, to ABC.
Hervey showcased not just his ability to be the aggravating brother, but also hinted at the layers beneath the surface. His portrayal promised a character that viewers would love to laugh at, get frustrated with, and surprisingly, occasionally sympathize with.
You can't make someone fall in love with you. You can't make them fall in love. It's just gotta happen.
And I guess that's when it hit me. How hard this guy had tried. How hard he'd been trying his whole life. And suddenly it all made sense. Who my brother really was. Not the family man he wanted to be, or the stupid older brother I'd fought with my whole life. But just another grown-up kid with a broken heart.
The creators of The Wonder Years needed to find the perfect best friend for Kevin Arnold. Someone who could embody the quintessential best friend with sincerity, humor, and a dash of geeky charm as the character Paul Pfeiffer. When Josh Saviano stepped into the audition room, it was clear they had found their match.
And so it was a regular audition. I went in for the first audition, read. Don't remember the slides or the read, but I got a call back. Did the callback read, and then I was actually in LA doing a movie when I got the third audition, or the second callback, to meet with Neil and Carol. And when I met with Neil and Carol, we went through our regular audition, and it was a much more untraditional. It was more of a conversation and it really like an interview rather than an audition. I did a couple of things for them, and then when I went back home after filming the movie, I found out I got the role.
Saviano brought depth to the character that went beyond the written script. His portrayal of Paul's allergies, academic struggles, and moments of unexpected courage added layers to the character, making every appearance memorable. He would become the endearing best friend we all wished we had.
He might not be the most popular kid in school, not the smartest or the most athletic, but he's honest and true. He's every man. The kid without a name who sits behind you in class, the guy down the lunch line who hates green beans too.
The funny thing is, even though he was standing in front of hundreds of kids, I knew he was talking to me.
Kevin Arnold is someone who you can count on to do the right thing. Kevin Arnold is someone who I believe in. Good luck.
Now with the casting completed, the show went into production.
The final score in Super Bowl 22, Washington 42, Denver 10. We hope you enjoyed the day. You're going to be hearing a lot about a special new comedy on ABC called The Wonder Years, and those who've seen it say it's great. There's a special preview tonight, right after we conclude Super Bowl coverage, so stay with us for The Wonder Years.
From the get-go, The Wonder Years stood out with its movie-like production quality, filmed without a studio audience. The show was shot with a single camera on location in suburban Los Angeles. It was this innovative and intimate style that brought Kevin Arnold's world to life. From the very first scene, the Wonder Years pilot draws us into a familiar world. We meet Kevin Arnold, Paul Pfeiffer, and Winnie Cooper, characters who would become our guides, our mirrors, and our friends through this journey.
She's not my girlfriend.
This was true. Winnie Cooper was not my girlfriend. When we were very little, we used to go down to Harper's Woods and catch fireflies, but we really hadn't hung out at all together since we were about 9.
Uh-oh. Think girlfriend's mad at you? Maybe you better go give her a big French kiss.
Shut up, Wayne.
The pilot introduces us to the Arnold family, a microcosm of American family life. Kevin's battles with his older brother Wayne, his parents' everyday struggles to raise a family, and his sister Karen's rebellious streak.
I'm gonna get some birth control pills. I thought you should know.
I didn't hear what I just heard.
The transition to junior high brings a whirlwind of changes for Kevin, from his confrontation with a school bully, his incident during lunch, to his growing infatuation with Winnie Cooper.
Hi. Do you guys mind if I sit with you? Sure, Winnie.
We were on our way. Our group was forming. And Gwendolyn, was not chopped liver.
Amidst personal upheavals, the show doesn't shy away from the broader canvas of history. The news of Winnie's brother's death in Vietnam brings a somber reality to the forefront, reminding us of the era's turbulence.
Ryan Cooper was killed.
Oh my God. When did they find out? I need to go call Evelyn and see if there's anything I can do. Oh my God, poor Evelyn.
Then it's here, in the quiet of the woods, that Kevin and Winnie share their first kiss. A moment of innocence amidst the loss, capturing the poignancy of first love. The pilot was a masterful blend of personal and historical narratives, setting the tone for the entire series. In a stroke of genius, the pilot premiered right after the 1988 Super Bowl, inheriting an audience of millions. The show immediately captivated viewers, and critics praised the show. So ABC immediately commissioned 5 more episodes to complete the first season.
They call the school in Wonder Years Kennedy High School, but in reality, it's John Burroughs Senior High School here in Burbank. And if you were to close your eyes, you would swear you were back in the suburbs, back in the 60s. Yeah, it's a peaceful, quiet, beautiful setting for a high school until the days when the Wonder Years comes and all of these trucks line up on this side street and everybody goes to work.
In the second episode, Swingers, we find Kevin and Paul grappling with a health class assignment on sex that seems simple on the surface, but leads them down a rabbit hole of curiosity and confusion about adult relations. It's a storyline that resonated with anyone who's ever stumbled through the awkwardness of puberty, armed with more questions than answers. The episode masterfully portrays the boys' naive determination to understand the mysteries of adult relations. After Kevin and Paul's naive yet determined quest leads them to purchase a book on the subject, the situation takes a comedic turn when Kevin's mom discovers the book. This moment is a rite of passage for many, a collision of childhood innocence with the complexities of adult life, handled with the show's signature blend of humor and warmth. Kevin's mom, embodying the protective and sometimes perplexed parent, finds herself in the delicate position of addressing the curiosity of her son about a topic that's as natural as its discomfort for both parent and child.
What are you boys doing with this book?
Don't ask me. Kevin got it.
Kevin? Is that true?
Yes.
Wayne, go outside.
Kids, I know.
Kevin? I am so disappointed in you.
At that moment, I felt like the lowest thing on earth. I was a pervert, a thief, a sneak. I'd always been her sweet, innocent little boy. But at that moment, my mother couldn't even bear to look me in the eye.
It's not so much you're reading this book. But what were you doing in my dresser drawers anyway?
It's the episode's closing moments that truly encapsulate the heart of the Wonder Years.
When Winnie got back from her uncle's, we went for a walk in the park. Neither of us said a word about it, of course, but we both knew that the park was where you went to make out.
In the glow of the setting sun, amidst the familiar comfort of childhood playgrounds, Kevin and Winnie share a conversation that's
what do you
both
wanna do?
mundane and profound.
I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. You want to go on the swings? Yeah, sure.
And in the end, that's as far as Winnie and I went that day. Maybe we both felt we'd already come too far too fast. Maybe we both realized that growing up doesn't have to be so much a straight line as a series of advances and retreats. Maybe we just felt like swinging.
This second episode pictures the delicate dance of adolescence, of learning and not quite understanding, of being bold yet remaining innocent. In the fourth episode of Season 1, Angel, we witness a young Kevin Arnold grappling with more than just the ups and downs of junior high. He's confronted with his sister Karen's rebellious streak, manifested by her new college-age hippie boyfriend. In his attempt to protect his sister and uphold his own sense of right, Kevin takes a stand against this relationship. Kevin's actions lead to a confrontation that's emblematic of the show's ability to blend comedy with deeper, more meaningful narratives.
Yeah, sure, I had fun, Marissa.
Marissa? Did he say he had fun with Marissa?
Listen, tonight, 7:30, we're marching from Jenkins Hall to the administration building and... What? Of course you can crash at my place.
And that she could crash at his place?
Okay, good. I love you too.
And that he loved her?
No,
I couldn't believe it. What a sicko. It wasn't enough that this guy was all over my sister like a fungus in a damp basement. No, he was a multi-basement kind of guy. I was outraged.
Okay, so I'll pick you up at 7. Bye-bye.
Who's Marissa?
A friend?
What kind of friend?
As the episode unfolds, we witness an intense moment, set against the backdrop of a family dinner. The dinner scene starts with an air of tension, as Karen's boyfriend, Louis, a college-aged hippie embodying the counterculture of the time, joins the Arnold family for dinner. The atmosphere is charged with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism from the family, particularly from Karen's father, who represents the traditional values of the time. The dinner conversation quickly escalates into an argument between Louis and Karen's father, highlighting the generational divide and differing worldviews that were so prevalent in the late 60s.
Your friends should be alive. They should be enjoying dinner and arguing with their kids just like you are.
What do you know about it? Who the hell are you to say that?
You see this man? This is my draft notice. In 2 weeks, I can go to jail. I can go to Canada. Or I can go get shot full of holes like your friend Brian Cooper. You keep thinking the way you do, Mr. Arnold. And these two will be next. And I just hope that's what they want. Excuse me.
The argument at the dinner table isn't just about differing opinions. It's a pivotal moment that exposes the vulnerabilities and challenges of maintaining relationships amidst ideological divides. The episode takes an even more dramatic turn when Karen discovers that Louis, the embodiment of free love and countercultural ideals, has been unfaithful to her. This revelation is a gut-wrenching moment, not only for Karen, but for us who have come to empathize with her journey. It's a stark reminder of the disillusionment that often comes with growing up, as the ideals we hold dear are challenged by the imperfections and betrayals of those we trust. As the episode concludes, we're left with a mix of emotions: sympathy for Karen, a renewed appreciation for the challenges faced within households in this era, and a reflective acknowledgement of the complexities of the adult world. In the season finale, Episode 6, Dance With Me, we watch Kevin's emotional journey during his first junior high dance. Kevin has a new crush on classmate Lisa Berlini. After their phone call and classroom notes are exchanged, Kevin asks her out to the school dance. Lisa accepts, but his hopes are crushed after witnessing Lisa soon after accept an offer to the dance from someone else and labels Kevin as just a friend.
Oh, Kevin. Yeah. Did you just say you'd go to the dance with Brad?
I'd seen that look before. In 1964, when my mother put our Cocker Spaniel to sleep.
Well, yeah. But you just said you'd go with me. That was before Brad asked me. So? So, I didn't know he was gonna ask me when I said yes to you. So? Well, I mean, you're not gonna be weird about this or anything, are you? I mean, I really like you, Kevin,
And that's when she said it. The word I was to hear from beautiful girls like Lisa Berlini time and time again. The word that struck a chord so violent in me that I wanted to strangle guys like Brad Gaines with my bare hands.
friend.
Ah!
Kevin then asks Winnie to the school dance, but finds out she too has a date.
Winnie, will you go to the dance with me? Dance? I can't. I'm already going with Kirk McCrae.
Kevin discovering that both Lisa Berlini and Winnie Cooper, the two girls he harbors feelings for, are attending the dance with other dates, highlighted the universal experience of youthful disappointment. Kevin attempts to navigate the dance alone. His efforts to incite jealousy in Winnie, and the humorous yet relatable lengths to which he goes, underscores the episode's blend of humor and heartfelt emotion.
It was time to do what any hot-blooded 12-year-old guy would have done if he were in my shoes.
Do you want to dance? Sure.
Try to make Winnie as furiously jealous as I was. The key would be to appear like I was having the time of my life, and dance as I had never danced before.
In true Wonder Years fashion, Kevin's resolve to make Winnie jealous is both endearingly earnest and comically misguided. From his awkward attempts at dancing with other girls to his feigned nonchalance, Kevin's antics at the dance were relatable fumbling steps in young love. The episode ends with a scene where Kevin and Winnie find solace and understanding outside the dance.
Do you like him? He's nice. Winnie? Can I ask you one more thing?
Kevin and Winnie's heartfelt conversation, followed by a tender, slow dance, is a testament to the show's ability to capture the fleeting moments of youth that define us. As they dance, we're reminded of the simplicity and purity of childhood friendships, and the realization that as we grow, so too do our relationships, sometimes in different directions. The Wonder Years' short first season was an unquestionable success. Thus, ABC renewed the show for 3 more seasons. Then, in a surprising fashion, the show won the Emmy Award for Best Comedy Series in September of 1988, beating out established hit TV shows Cheers and The Golden Girls.
And the winner is The Wonder Years.
The cast and crew's joy was short-lived, however. Soon they would be shocked by an unexpected decision that would put the show's future into question.
Tomorrow, the season premieres of 2 Emmy winners. First,
You guys going out with anybody?
He's going out with this girl, Winnie Cooper. We broke up.
Oh, Winnie, she's pretty cute. A little flat, but cute. Kevin likes them flat.
The Wonder Years. Then,
I'm here.
Carol Black and Neil Marlins, the creative minds behind The Wonder Years, brought to life a series that resonated deeply with audiences, capturing the complexities of adolescence against the backdrop of the turbulent 60s. However, after a groundbreaking first season, Black and Marlins decided to leave the show due to personal reasons, leaving many wondering about the show's future. The couple turned their creation over to producer and director Bob Brush and Ken Topolsky. Brush, a seasoned writer and producer, and Topolsky, a skilled director, were no strangers to the demands of television production. Their challenge was not only to maintain the show's heartfelt storytelling and nostalgic charm, but also to imprint their own creative visions onto the series. Taking the helm of a show as popular as The Wonder Years was no small feat. Brush and Topolsky faced the immense challenge of honoring Black and Marlins' original vision while steering the series into uncharted waters. In Season 2, Episode 5, Kevin and Paul continue their adolescent adventures with Carla and Becky.
That was the sign.
Hey, Mom. So you're doing the laundry?
Yeah, I thought I would.
You're folding, Kevin.
Kevin, what's that on your neck?
Mom, be cool.
Oh, it's a bug bite.
Oh, it was embarrassing for everyone. Almost everyone.
I don't know, Mom. Looks to me as though it just might be a monstro hickey, a love bite, a big juicy lip burn. But, that's just a guess.
In the heart of the episode, Kirk McCrae enlists Kevin's help to gauge Winnie's feelings, leading to confusion and mixed emotions.
No, Kirk, I want to talk to Winnie Cooper for you almost as much as I want to be stabbed through the heart 50 times with a dull butter knife.
If it's a hassle, you know, forget it.
Wait a minute, I could do this. What's the big deal? Winnie Cooper's yesterday's news. Anyway, I had what's her name? Becky. Yeah, I had Becky.
Kirk, wait a minute.
You'll do it?
Yes, I'll do it.
This sets the stage for a series of awkward encounters and misread signals. The dance of glances and half-spoken truths we all know too well. displaying the innocence and confusion of those first forays into the realm of romance.
Just answer the question, do you like her or not?
Well, sure I like her.
Well, do you like her?
Not like you like her. You like her? I thought everybody knew that. You mean you like her?
Yeah, I like her. I liked her before you liked her.
You mean you went to talk to her for me when all this time you liked her? Now you like her? Is there anybody else that likes Winnie Cooper I should know about? Paul?
Well, she does have those tiny little freckles on her nose. Joke.
The plot thickens as Kevin, in a bid to figure out his feelings for Winnie, finds himself entangled with Becky Slater. Their budding relationship, sweet on the surface, hides the turmoil beneath. Kevin, realizing his lingering feelings for Winnie, breaks up with Becky.
I still like Winnie Cooper.
The moment Becky's realization dawns that she's caught in the crossfire of Kevin's unresolved feelings for Winnie is both heart-wrenching and quintessential to the show's blend of humor with the sad realities.
Oh, yeah! Friends? Oh, I'll give you friends!
I guess that was when it first occurred to me. I really didn't understand girls. I mean, and let me be absolutely clear about what I mean. I really didn't understand girls.
As the episode draws to a close, Kevin and Winnie's conversation is an uncomfortable reminder of the tender uncertainties of first loves.
I have to ask you something. What? I just have to know if you like me or not.
Winnie's admission of unsureness encapsulates the essence of the Wonder Years. The recognition that growing up is a journey filled with questions, few easy answers, and the realization that the heart, much like life, is a complex landscape we navigate one step at a time.
I mean, I always figured girls knew exactly what they wanted. They knew. They had a plan. But maybe they didn't. Maybe they were just as confused as we were. Isn't that great? It's horrible. They don't know either. That means nobody knows.
In episode 6, we see the show tackle more adult themes and add new layers to the characters. In this case, marital problems between Kevin's parents, Norma and Jack. The episode opens with Norma's newfound passion for pottery, a symbol of her desire for something more, something hers. Kevin and Karen's support contrasts sharply with Jack's indifference, a rift that mirrors the broader societal struggle between traditional roles and the burgeoning need for personal fulfillment, especially among women of the era.
That bowl there?
This one?
Yeah, will you put that in the middle of the table? Okay. Well, I guess that's everything. Oh, Jack, could you lift up that bowl?
Something about a bowl here?
What?
Notice anything different?
Changed your hair.
I changed my hair 3 weeks ago.
That's what I meant 3 weeks ago.
No, the bowl. Didn't anybody notice the new bowl? I made it.
Oh, Mom. Wow.
As Norma's enthusiasm grows, so does the tension between her and Jack.
I have to take my vase out of the kiln.
Well, you gonna stop at the store on your way home?
If you want me to.
I didn't say I wanted you to.
Okay.
But if you're going to, you can get me some Pepsi.
You want Pepsi? I'll get you Pepsi.
Nah, forget it. I'll drink the Fresca.
No, I said I'll get you some Pepsi.
Nah, forget it.
I said I'll get it, okay?
Okay.
Fine.
Fine. Their passive-aggressive banter over dinner table conversations and misunderstood gestures escalates into arguments that are as much about pottery as they are about recognition, support, and the evolving dynamics of their marriage.
Where are you going?
Better get your Pepsi while it's still fresh on my mind.
Don't bother. I'll get it.
No, that's okay, Jack. I'll get it.
I said I'll get it.
Don't break it!
I'm not gonna break it, Norma.
Look, just because you hate my pottery is no reason to smash it to pieces.
I don't hate your pottery.
Notice he didn't say he liked it.
Well, you certainly act like you hate it.
In the episode's climax, Norma's small accident with a hot iron becomes the catalyst for a much-needed thaw in the frostiness that's crept between her and Jack. It's a moment that portrays the simple yet profound realization of what truly matters in a marriage.
Damn!
Jack's compassionate response to Norma's injury underscored the deep, unspoken bond they share. As Jack comes to Norma's aid, their previous contentions fade into the background, overshadowed by the instinctive care and concern that defines their relationship. The Arnold children bear witness to this tender scene. It's moments like these that left an indelible mark, reminding us of the silent strengths and unspoken bonds that hold families together. This episode skillfully peels back the layers of Jack and Norma's characters, offering a deeper understanding of their hopes, regrets, and the silent battles they face. It's a testament to the show's ability to enrich its characters, painting a vivid picture of two people navigating the shifting sands of marriage. In Season 2, Episode 11, Nemesis, we find Kevin Arnold in the eye of the storm, back with Winnie Cooper, yet haunted by the echoes of his past actions. It's a tale of realization, redemption, and the sometimes rocky path to setting things right. His attempts to impress Becky when they were going steady by ridiculing his friends, including Winnie, turns into a ticking time bomb of consequences. A distressing reminder of the weight our words can carry, especially in the fragile world of adolescent relationships.
Oh, and then there's Winnie. There's always Winnie, you know? She's like the ultimate Miss Put. She walks up to you like this. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Paul. You want to look at her and say, what's the matter, Winnie? Forget to take the hanger out of your shirt? Kevin! Oh, and then when she dances, it's like the bride of the mummy does the pony. You know, she's all...
Kevin, you're so mean.
In Care for a Sick Winnie, Kevin is relieved as he discovers that Becky hasn't told Winnie what he has said about her. Yet, the spreading storm of his own making becomes evident as he learns that his other friends, including Paul, have not been spared from Becky's revelations. It's a relatable scene, capturing the intricacies of trust and betrayal among friends.
All right. Come on. Come on. Slam me.
Just forget it.
No, come on, lay into me.
No.
Paul, I was mean to you. Now you be mean to me. Imitate me. Make fun of me.
Who wants to imitate you?
All right, fine. I'll imitate myself. Here.
Well?
That's hard. Can't really think of anything I do stupid.
Oh, yeah, right. Try the way you look, the way you talk, the way you walk.
Huh?
You have those stupid chipmunk cheeks. And your hair? You look like you're wearing a cat on your head.
See, that wasn't so hard.
And let's face it, you're not exactly Mr. Coordination. You couldn't catch a football if your life depended on it.
Mm-hmm. Great.
And that stupid jacket. You've never been to a Jets game in your life.
Huh?
I hate the way you sing.
All right, Paul.
Let me tell you, your breath is not
All right,
always...
Paul. So are we still friends?
Well, why would I want to be friends with a guy who wears a cat on his head?
I gotta go.
Hey, wait! We haven't even scratched the surface yet. We could spend the rest
In a dramatic Western-style showdown, Kevin faces off with Becky Slater, a creative and metaphorical representation of Kevin's internal battle and his brave, although daunting decision to confront the mess he's created. It's a moment that blends humor with the serious undertones of facing up to one's actions, encapsulated brilliantly in the imaginative storytelling of the Wonder Years.
Look, Becky, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we broke up. I'm sorry about the whole thing.
Yeah? Are you sorry you just used me to get to Winnie? Are you sorry you just pretended to like me the whole time when you really just liked her? Because, you know, I really think that's a terrible thing to do to a person.
Look, I really liked you. I really liked you a lot.
Well, whoop-de-doo.
Well, what do you want me to say? Does it make you feel better making my life miserable?
Yes, it does.
As the episode ends, Winnie angrily confronts Kevin after finally learning of his insults towards her. The confrontation with Kevin injects more personality and depth into Winnie's archetypal girl-next-door persona.
Miss Press?
Huh?
Bride of the Mummy?
Winnie, was just a joke.
A joke? I'll show you a joke. Hi, I'm Kevin Arnold, and I'm really nice to people's faces, and then I cut them down behind their backs. Oh, were you sick? Here, I'll take care of you. What's the matter? Stomach feeling a little queasy, is it? Feels like the least little thing might set it off?
Winnie, please.
Maybe I should get you something to eat. How about some coleslaw, liver, fried squid?
Winnie.
Oh, you poor thing, you're not comfy. Let me fix your pillows. Oh, you have a fever, you're burning up. That's okay, I'll help you. Poor baby, now you're cold. Well, here's your blankie.
I guess that's when it hit me. Winnie wasn't going to forgive me for the things I'd said. It could only mean one thing. She wanted me bad.
The season 2 finale, How I'm Spending My Summer Vacation, delves into Kevin's end-of-school-year dilemmas. Kevin's plans for a perfect summer begins to unravel with Paul's announcement of him leaving for the summer.
We gotta talk.
Uh-oh. In the history of mankind, no good has ever come from those 4 words.
What do you mean you're going away? How come you never said anything? Well, the Schwartzes kept changing their minds. The hell? The people we're sharing the cabin with. And look, it's not that bad. We'll only be there until Labor Day. Paul, that's the whole summer.
Couple this with Winnie's enigmatic behavior, Kevin grapples with feelings of abandonment and the pangs of first love.
Oh.
Oh? I'm dying of embarrassment and she gives me oh?
Well, maybe we can talk about it tonight at the party.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'm gonna be there.
Oh.
Boy, now she was really making me mad.
Well, did you show it to anybody?
Show what?
Well, the yearbook. You know what I wrote?
Oh.
Yo, you can just forget about it, okay? Because I didn't mean a word of it. And you can just rip out the page and throw it in the garbage because...
It was amazing. It was our first kiss since that day last fall in Harper's Woods, the day Winnie's brother Brian died. I've been waiting to kiss her again all year, and now that it had happened, I felt as confused as ever. There was only one thing I was sure of. I was a man on fire.
At the Coopers' annual barbecue, a setting that should have been ripe for summer romance, Kevin and Winnie's kiss becomes a prelude to revelation and heartache. Winnie's reveal of her summer departure is a moment laden with unspoken fears and the shadows of past sorrows. Winnie, the beacon of innocence in the Wonder Years, finds herself repeatedly thrust into the whirlwind of change and challenge. Her brother's death in Vietnam, a loss that echoes through her family's life, has forced Winnie to confront realities far beyond her years.
And suddenly I began to understand.
Kevin's summer of discontent takes a turn towards introspection as he comes to terms with the triviality of his woes in the face of Winnie's silent battle with her family's grief. As the episode draws to a close, we're left with a Kevin Arnold who's a little wiser, a touch more compassionate, and ready to stand beside Winnie as they both face the uncertain journey ahead. An example in the enduring power of friendship and the realization that growing up means embracing not just your own troubles, but also the battles of those you care about. The second season of The Wonder Years gives evidence to the power of creative vision and collaborative storytelling. Under the guidance of Bob Brush and Ken Topolsky, the series continued to capture the hearts of viewers, proving that even amidst change, the wonder of adolescence remains a universal and timeless tale. The second season saw The Wonder Years evolve, through deepening its exploration of Kevin Arnold's journey through adolescence, weaving in new layers to the characters and introducing storylines that broaden the show's narrative scope. The dedication to character development, authentic storytelling, reflecting the spirit of the era, ensured that the second season not only met, but exceeded expectations.
Tuesday, Kevin Arnold, A Love Story.
I wanted to enjoy this moment forever. Kevin Arnold with Susan Fisher. Kevin Arnold with
The Wonder Years.
absolutely nothing to talk about.
Following Who's the Boss, Tuesday.
The Wonder Years really hits its stride in Season 3. In the season premiere, Summer Song, we rejoin the Arnold family as they embark on their annual pilgrimage to Ocean City. We see subtle signs of growth and change among the characters. Wayne reveals glimpses of a newfound steadiness. Paul returns with the unmistakable marks of growth, including braces. And Winnie reveals her new relationship to Kevin through letters, leaving him grappling with feelings of loneliness and frustration. As the miles roll by, it's clear this isn't just any family vacation. Paul's battle with car sickness, alongside Wayne and Karen's growing independence, paints a vivid picture of the family's changing dynamics. Gone are the carefree trips of old, replaced by the reality of time's march and the growth that accompany it.
Kevin, where are you going?
For a walk.
Couldn't figure out what had happened to the vacations we used to take. When we did things together. And everybody was happy.
In the midst of family chaos, Kevin carries his own turmoil. The sting of Winnie Cooper's new romance lingers, leaving him feeling adrift in the sea of vacation revelers, until a chance encounter changes the tide. Terry, an older girl whose carefree spirit and fleeting presence offer a temporary escape from his heartache.
Yeah. What's your name, Brown Eyes?
Kevin.
You sure?
Their brief romance, set against the backdrop of sandy beaches and boardwalk lights, capture the essence of those ephemeral summer connections that burn bright and fade fast. Just as quickly as she appeared, Terry's departure leaves Kevin with a mix of disappointment and the realization of summer love's fleeting nature.
Albuquerque?
I have to leave tomorrow.
Leave?
We have to. Dad got called back early.
Why didn't you tell me?
Would you have had any fun tonight if I did?
Okay, granted girls mature faster than boys, but this was too rational.
I
I guess not. I have to go in now.
So that's it?
I'll miss you, Kevin.
Yeah, sure.
I'll write you. I promise. Didn't you have a good time?
Yeah. I had a great time.
In the episode's climax, Kevin's return home brings a tender moment with Winnie Cooper, a gentle suggestion of a rekindled connection.
After all, Winnie was my next-door neighbor.
How you doing? Fine. Sorry about your dad moving to Chicago. Well, yeah. So, how's Chip?
Oh.
Okay, maybe I was asking for trouble, but I had an ace or two under my own...
We broke up. Guess it was just one of those summer things. You know?
Yeah.
So 8th grade, huh? I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Welcome home.
In Season 3, Episode 11, Don't You Know Anything About Women, we find Kevin Arnold again, caught in the tangled web of adolescent romance, facing the timeless dilemma of the heart's desires versus the comfort of genuine companionship. The episode opens with Kevin spellbound by the allure of Susan Fisher, the embodiment of his youthful romantic ideals. This was in contrast with his lab partner, Linda.
Hey! Pay attention or you'll get burned.
Linda Sloan, on the other hand, was my, well, lab partner.
I was paying attention.
Sure you were.
She was smart, funny, and comfortable.
Encouraged by his friends and the news of her newfound single status, Kevin's resolve to ask Susan to the school dance wavers, a relatable hesitation that speaks to the vulnerability of putting one's heart on the line.
Susan. Hi.
Hi,
Kevin. Kevin!
Kevin.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
All right, now devastate her with your wit.
So, could we leave Cantwell today?
He's quite the character.
Yeah.
Good, good. Now, Linda said just be myself, so a little hesitation for just the right effect and...
So, I was wondering if you wanted to go,
Susan, we have to talk.
Donald, I was talking to Kevin.
Unbelievable. I'd blown a golden opportunity, and whose fault was it?
Mine?
I just shouldn't have asked her in the first place.
Seems to me you didn't ask her out at all. Seems to me you chickened out.
I didn't chicken out. Just that I think she's back together with Donald, that's all.
In a twist of fate, Kevin finds himself going to the dance with his lab partner, Linda, and also being promised a dance with Susan.
Are you going to the dance on Friday?
Yeah. I mean, I think so.
I hope so.
Huh?
Maybe you'll save me a dance then. Okay?
Was she joking? Save her a dance? I'd save every tango, every twist, every polka, every frug in the book. And suddenly my life was complete. This was bliss. No, more than bliss. This was Susan Fisher and me. And, of course, Linda.
Kevin finds Linda to be a friend whose presence brings comfort and laughter, starkly contrasting the distant dream of Susan. It's a reminder of the unexpected connections that often lie right before our eyes. As the dance unfolds, Kevin's dream of dancing with Susan becomes reality. Yet the anticipated spark remains elusive. After their dance, Kevin realizes they have nothing in common. that they really have no true connection, which leads to Susan reconnecting with her boyfriend Donald. Kevin then makes an insensitive comment to Linda that further ruins the night. It's in this moment of clarity, amidst the swirl of music and lights, that Kevin discovers the true essence of companionship with Linda, a bond not built on idealized notions of romance, but on a genuine connection. As the episode closes, Kevin's introspection on the dance floor becomes a lesson on the nature of love itself. The quest for a partner who embodies both the comfort of a friend and the allure of a dream remains elusive, underscored by the fleeting moment where he and Winnie, his ultimate confidant and crush, narrowly miss a chance encounter. It's a bittersweet reminder that love, in its truest form, often hinges on the whims of timing and fate. Season 3, Episode 20, Goodbye, explores the emotional journey of Kevin Arnold as he develops a relationship with Mr. Collins, his math teacher, leading to a touching and transformative experience.
All right.
And he never let up.
Who can give me the quotient?
3x plus 2y?
No.
2y squared?
No. Anybody else?
Sure, he was tough, but you had to respect him. And you wanted him to respect you, too. At least I did.
Mr. Arnold.
2x plus y?
Correct. And the remainder?
6?
The answer is 12y plus 3.
Okay, so I wasn't exactly God's gift to polynomials, but I was doing my best, and Collins knew it. At least I think he did.
For the problem.
In the throes of academic struggle, Kevin finds an unlikely ally in Mr. Collins, a teacher who sees beyond the numbers to the potential within.
I think I can help.
I beg your pardon?
There's not much time. We can start this afternoon.
Naturally, one or two questions sprang to mind.
Start what?
Preparing for your midterm examination. We have 2 weeks and a lot of ground to cover.
But I didn't say anything about an exam.
We can work in the afternoon after school.
Wait a minute.
Heck, all I wanted here was a little applause for a job well done, and he's giving me
an opportunity to do your best. Isn't that why you came to me?
Just as trust and respect deepen, Mr. Collins's sudden withdrawal from the tutoring sessions leaves Kevin reeling, feeling abandoned by someone he'd come to see, not just as a teacher, but as a friend.
I'm afraid you'll have to prepare on your own, Mr. Arnold. You still have functions and real numbers to review. That's units 12 through...
I can't do those on my own.
I suggest you try. They will be on the examination.
Look, Mr. Collins, this whole thing was your idea. We kind of had a deal. Didn't we?
I'm sorry. I have to go.
Kevin's response, completing the test with nonsensical answers, is an expression of his sense of betrayal.
Mr. Collins.
In a bid for reconciliation, Kevin's world is shattered by the news of Mr. Collins's passing. The weight of this revelation, portrayed with heartrending authenticity by a young Fred Savage, brings the complexities of grief, regret, and the loss of innocence into sharp focus.
Mr. Collins passed away this morning. He was at home. We just got the bad news. He's been not well for a while. It was his heart. I'm sorry to have to break the news to you now. I'll be making a formal announcement later in the day. Meanwhile, I'll be taking over most of his classes.
In the wake of loss, Mr. Collins's final lesson emerges. A blank test, a gesture of forgiveness, and an unspoken challenge to fulfill his potential. As Kevin honors this last gift by acing the test, we're reminded of the enduring legacy of those who've shaped us, their lessons woven into the very fabric of who we become.
You don't have to grade it. It's an A.
Mr. Arnold.
Good job, Mr. Collins.
In the season 3 finale, Moving, the show dives into the themes of change and the enduring bonds of childhood friendships and first loves. As Jack Arnold grapples with the mundane, yet disruptive issue of dry rot, Kevin's world is thrown into disarray by the mere thought of leaving behind the only home he's known. It's a story that resonates with anyone who's faced the prospect of uprooting their life.
Dry rot in the cellar was one thing. Dry rot in Dad's wallet was quite another.
I'm telling you, Norm, we ought to get rid of this place.
And suddenly this was sounding serious.
Cooper says the houses around here are going for 3 times what they used to.
Dad,
Seemed like it was time for a second opinion.
maybe we should get it fixed. It's a good house. It's our house. I like it.
There. Simple, eloquent, and effective.
Cooper give you the name of that realtor?
Yeah, I think I have it somewhere.
Good.
In a heartrending twist, it's not the Arnolds, but the Coopers who are destined to leave. A revelation that sends ripples through Kevin's heart and the fabric of his childhood romance with Winnie Cooper.
Then you're not selling the house?
Of course not.
There, I told you.
And suddenly the skies began to clear.
What is this anyway, Jack?
Guy I met across the street.
Suddenly my fears had disappeared. The world was great. We were staying.
He's gonna be working on Cooper's house after they move out.
Huh? Jack,
Sorry.
the Coopers thought it was best if Winnie told you. They're not moving far, honey. Just a few miles.
Huh. Know what the best part is? The Coopster's going to a different school next year. Across town. Looks like bye-bye, butthead.
Wayne!
I didn't believe it. I had to find Winnie so she would tell me it wasn't true.
The news of the move creates tension and uncertainty. Kevin and Winnie struggle with the implications of this change. In a tender act of defiance against the tide of change, Kevin buys Winnie a ring, a token of his unwavering affection, and a hopeful talisman against the uncertainties of distance.
A pink? It's not the color.
But Winnie declines his gift, signaling an imminent breakup.
Well then, Kevin, we have to be sensible.
What are you talking about?
Kevin, I've done a lot of thinking about us, about what you said, about long-distance relationships.
Well, yeah, but that was just mostly hypothetical.
And suddenly it was clear. She wasn't just cleaning out her locker. She was cleaning out her life.
Honey, are you breaking up with me?
But she didn't have to answer. Her silence said it all. It had the sound of moving on, the sound of goodbye.
As the Coopers prepare to depart, Kevin and Winnie find solace in the sanctuary of the moving truck. The revelation that Winnie kept the ring Kevin gave her is a testament to the enduring nature of their bond, a promise sealed in the quietude of their unspoken vows. In the final act, Kevin chooses the milestone of Karen's graduation over the pain of watching Winnie leave, a decision that speaks to the show's readiness to embrace broader horizons and deeper themes. The end of the episode hints at future themes about the world getting bigger for Kevin, and that the show is prepared to broaden its scope. After the first 3 seasons of The Wonder Years, we've began to see a complete and very convincing portrait of the show's characters. Through the lens of character growth, the complexities of their lives, and the universal themes of adolescence and family dynamics, we're invited to connect with their journeys and reminisce about our own.
Wednesday.
So where is this job?
In the attendance office at Kevin's school.
It was the cool kid's worst nightmare.
I may have a job, but I'm still your mother, and you're still my little boy.
Exactly what I was afraid of.
Hiding from your own flesh and blood?
The Wonder Years.
Season 4 of The Wonder Years takes us on a deeper journey into the heart of adolescence and the nuanced transformation of its beloved characters. From evolving friendships to romantic entanglements that go beyond innocent crushes, Kevin's journey continues to be marked by defining moments and critical life lessons. Season 4, Episode 2, The Ninth Grade Man, focuses on Kevin's turbulent first day of high school, his challenges, and his relationship dynamics with Winnie and a new character, Madeline.
You, drop this. And I, picked it up. For you.
Thank you.
Kevin.
Fact. Lead conducts electricity.
As Winnie Cooper faces her own fears about starting new, she asks Kevin for a simple yet poignant promise, to think of her every hour. It's a tender moment, setting the tone for Kevin's day as he steps into the broader world of high school.
Will you think about me?
Of course I'll think about you.
Think about me every hour, on the hour. And I'll think about you.
Winnie.
Promise? Every hour?
I promise.
Sure, I'd promise her the world. Why not? I was ninth grade man, and I was ready for anything.
Kevin's first day at high school is anything but smooth. Between losing his locker to a bully and the unexpected drama of being blamed for a breakup he knows nothing about, Kevin's day is a whirlwind of adolescent chaos. His accidental enrollment in shop class adds a humorous twist to his already eventful day, painting a vivid picture of the trials that come with stepping into a new world.
So you won't out? That it?
Kinda. I mean, if that'd be all right with you.
Okay. I'll let you out.
There. Finally.
It's only one thing, though. You gotta arm wrestle me for it.
Uh-huh. Things were starting off with a bang, and it wasn't even lunch yet.
Amidst the tumult of his day, Kevin's resolve is tested by Madeline, the intriguing new girl in his French class. His fascination with her pulls his thoughts away from Winnie, challenging the simplicity of their morning promise and adding layers to Kevin's already complicated emotional landscape.
Suddenly, I understood every single word.
J'ai attendu toute ma vie pour toi. Voulez-vous de beurre? À l'instant où je t'ai vu, j'ai su qu'il n'y aurait personne d'autre. Voulez-vous de beurre? Mon cœur est rempli de toi. Ta pensée m'obsède. Voulez-vous de beurre?
Hey, it was the only thing I knew in French.
The day's challenges culminate in a comically humiliating race against Becky Slater, where Kevin's victory is short-lived in the broader struggles of the day. Yet, it's in these moments of the wonder years that the show beautifully illustrates the resilience and growth that come from facing one's teenage trials.
No hard feelings. Huh, Slates?
Oh, God.
Despite the day's setbacks, Kevin's reunion with Winnie, under the soft glow of the streetlights, serves as a gentle reminder of the enduring strength of first loves. Together, they reflect on the day, finding comfort in shared experiences and the unspoken understanding that high school will be a journey they navigate together, filled with its own set of trials and triumphs. Season 4, Episode 11, Heartbreak. We follow Kevin as he embarks on a field trip to the Natural History Museum. A day filled with anticipation and hope, only to find himself on the brink of an emotional discovery about his first love, Winnie Cooper.
Did you hear? We're going on a field trip together.
We are?
Almost the same thing.
Yeah. It's to the Natural History Museum. It's a joint field trip with RFK and Lincoln.
Are you sure?
Well, sure, I'm sure. Oh, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
You know what'd be perfect is if we could get you to go on our bus.
I could see us now, nestled together, locked at the lips.
Well, I'd hate to let down the kids in my school.
How do you mean?
You know, by not riding on the bus with them.
Oh, you'll see them at the museum. Besides, you see them every day.
Whereas this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a plan made in heaven. It was perfect, flawless.
As the buses roll out, Kevin's excitement is palpable. Armed with the innocence of childhood romance, he looks forward to a day spent alongside Winnie. But as the museum corridors unfold, so too does the distance between them, with Winnie gradually drifting into her new world of friends, leaving Kevin grappling with feelings of neglect and confusion.
Suddenly, temperatures fell.
Winnie, I don't get it. What's so special about them?
The continents began to drift.
I don't know. They're just real nice.
Yeah, real nice. They make a cute couple, but...
Well, except they're not a couple.
Couple? Not a couple? Winnie, who cares? You don't see me talking to my friends, do you?
Hi, Kevin. Hi, Winnie.
New life forms began to appear.
Okay. Bad timing.
Amidst the backdrop of dinosaur bones and ancient artifacts, a different kind of history is being written for Kevin and Winnie. The day takes a turn as Winnie, caught between her old world with Kevin and her new experiences, reveals she's met someone else. It's a moment that displays the inevitable changes that come with growing up.
Kevin, I've met someone.
What?
Kevin, I'm sorry.
In a deeply symbolic act, Winnie returns Kevin's ring, a gesture laden with the weight of shared memories and unspoken dreams. This moment, heartrending in its simplicity, marks not just the end of their childhood romance, but also a shift in their lives as both begin to navigate the complexities of growing up and moving on. As heartbreak draws to a close, we're left with Kevin and Winnie at a crossroads, each stepping into new chapters of their lives. This episode, while deeply personal, resonates universally, reminding us of our own moments of heartache and the strength found in letting go. In Season 4, Episode 12, Denial, we walk alongside Kevin as he handles the emotional turmoil and growth following a significant breakup with Winnie Cooper. This episode dives deep into the complexities of teenage relationships, jealousy, and the painful process of moving on.
Yeah?
It's over.
What?
Well, I'm sorry, but that's what I think.
I mean, it's pretty clear she met this guy. She likes him better.
Who asked you?
Well, you did, remember?
That's not the point.
Hey, Arnold. Heard the Super Cooper dropped you like a rotten egg. Sorry.
Great.
One little tiff with my girlfriend, suddenly I'm headline news.
In a bid to show he's moved on, Kevin decides to throw a party. Not just any party, but one where he aims to flaunt his newfound independence. He invites Madeline, hoping to stir a hint of jealousy in Winnie. It's a classic tale of a teenager using bravado to shield his broken heart. A scene that many of us can relate to from our own days of youthful pride and pretense. As the party kicks into full swing, the arrival of Winnie with her new boyfriend, Roger, turns the atmosphere electric. Kevin's facade of detachment begins to crumble under the weight of his true feelings. Each forced smile and overplayed gesture of indifference paints a vivid picture of a boy caught in the throes of denial. The tension inevitably boils over, leading to a painful confrontation between Kevin and Winnie. In a heart-wrenching exchange, Winnie tells Kevin she needs him, not as a boyfriend, but as a friend. It's a scene that shows the excruciating transition from lovers to friends, a theme that The Wonder Years handles with both delicacy and raw honesty. Amidst the chaos of young love lost, it's Kevin's father who brings a moment of solace and wisdom. Their conversation in the garage, a quiet sanctuary away from the noise, offers Kevin not just paternal advice, but a heartfelt acknowledgement of his pain. It's these moments of parental insight that truly ground the Wonder Years in the realities of growing up.
Guess it must hurt a lot, doesn't it?
I guess so.
Wish I could say it gets easier.
Can we go inside?
But I knew I wasn't going to make it inside.
You just hang in there now, huh?
As the episode closes with Kevin and Winnie talking outside his house, we're left with a sad reminder of the difficulty of young relationships. Despite the heartache, there's a hint of an enduring bond that may yet redefine their connection. This episode beautifully encapsulates the bittersweet lessons of love and friendship, reminding us that sometimes growing up means learning to let go.
I'm gonna go home. I just wanted to stop by.
Well, I'm glad you stopped by, Kevin.
Yeah. Well, what was I gonna do? Never talk to you again?
Pretty stupid party, huh?
Yeah. Pretty stupid.
That night we talked about life, about our times together. Maybe we weren't the same two kids we'd once been, but some things never change. Some things last. And even though I didn't know what was going to happen to us or where we were going, I just knew I couldn't let her out of my life.
Season 4, Episode 20 of The Accident is a pivotal episode that reignites the complex emotions and evolving relationship between Kevin Arnold and Winnie Cooper. Our story unfolds at the Moonlight Roller Rink, a place of nostalgia and memories, where Kevin sees Winnie with her new look and newfound independence. Winnie seems a world away from the girl Kevin once knew.
It had been 2 months since Winnie and I broke up, but to me, she was still the same.
You changed her hair.
Yeah, and I got my hair stairs. See? Uh-huh.
good. You really think so? Sure.
Fact is, she looked beautiful.
So, how's Roger? Oh.
Roger Decovian, her steady guy, her constant flame, her...
Roger and I broke up. See you guys.
Needless to say, it came as a complete surprise.
In a surprising turn of events, Winnie arrives at Kevin's doorstep, vulnerable and seeking solace after her breakup with Roger. It's a raw, unguarded moment that reignites the complex tapestry of their relationship,
And we were alone.
illustrating to us the deep bonds that difficult times cannot erase. As Winnie begins to navigate her way through new social circles, mingling with older students, her behavior shifts, leaving Kevin perplexed and concerned. It's a storyline that delicately explores the challenges of growing up, drifting apart, and the pain of watching someone you love change before your eyes. Disaster strikes when Winnie is involved in a car accident, a harrowing event that brings a flood of fear and concern. Kevin's reaction to the news is evidence of the enduring strength of first love and the instinctive pull to protect those we care about, even from afar.
Is she all right?
Well, it's a broken leg and some cuts. She's gonna need some time to recover, but she'll be okay.
Can I see her?
Hello, Kevin.
Mrs. Cooper, may I talk to her?
Kevin, maybe you should go home now.
What?
Kevin, Winnie doesn't want to see you right now.
But that's impossible. I know she wants to see me.
Kevin, please go home.
And I guess that's when I finally understood. I'd been part of Winnie's past, a past she wanted to forget.
In a touching ending to the episode, Kevin stands outside Winnie's window, pouring out his enduring love and commitment. It's a scene that reflects the heart of the wonder years, the beauty and pain of young love, the strength of heartfelt confessions, and the unspoken promise that some bonds, no matter how tested, remain unbreakable. Season 4 brings us closer to the heart of Kevin Arnold's journey through adolescence. From his on and off relationship with Winnie Cooper to his challenges at school and home, each episode builds on the previous, painting a rich picture of teenage life that is both difficult and relatable. This season, we see Kevin not just as a boy in love, but as a young man grappling with the world around him. This season masterfully blends the warmth of nostalgic reminiscence with the sharper tones of real-life challenges, creating a viewing experience that is both comforting and thought-provoking. As the Wonder Years entered the new decade of the 90s, it remained a ratings powerhouse for ABC, proof to its enduring appeal and the universal resonance of its themes. Yet, with each passing season, the ticking clock grew louder. The very essence of the show was the fleeting magic of the Wonder Years, those years of innocence and discovery that couldn't last forever as our beloved characters edged closer to adulthood. Season 5 brought striking changes, with Kevin, Winnie, and Paul not just acting their parts, but living them. Fred Savage, Danica McKellar, and Josh Saviano brought depth to their roles, with their own rites of passage mirrored on screen. Paul's taller frame, Kevin's deeper voice, Winnie's evolving sense of self, illustrated transition from the childhood to the brink of young adulthood, enriching the show's narratives with authentic slices of life. Yet, this natural progression brought creative hurdles. The innocence and simplicity of childhood escapades gave way to more complex, sometimes less whimsical stories. As our characters faced real-world problems, the tone of the show shifted, reflecting their maturation and subtly changing the feel of the series. These were not just children dealing with first crushes or schoolyard dilemmas, but young adults steering through deeper emotional waters.
Next. Maybe you're some kind of hotshot in junior high, but you're nothing here.
Thanks for letting me know.
You're my brother. I care about you. We're Wonder Years. Next.
Season 5, Episode 1, The Lake, kicks off with the Arnold family and their friends, the Pfeiffers, spending their summer at Lake Wenatchee. While the adults seem to be enjoying themselves, Kevin and Paul quickly find the days dragging on, boredom settling in like an unwelcome guest. Desperate to escape the monotony and their overbearing parents, Kevin and Paul strike a deal with Wayne and his new friend Wart. For a price, they secure a ride to the local drive-in, a decision that changes the course of Kevin's summer. It's at the drive-in that Kevin meets Kara, a local girl with a free spirit and an infectious smile. Instantly captivated, Kevin finds himself drawn into a whirlwind summer romance, leaving his loyal friend Paul and his family behind.
Oh, you think you have a friend or someone who maybe wants to come along?
Yeah. Maybe Lori.
Lori? That's great.
Sure. Love to go.
Well, folks, only 5 minutes till showtime. Let one of our friendly snack bar personnel service...
Fantastic.
Let me add back.
If I could just grab my associate for one quick second here.
So, what do you think?
I'm not going. No way on earth. Kev, I'm your best friend. I'll do anything you want me to do. But please, don't ask me to do this for you.
It was the heartfelt cry of a dear and trusted friend. So I really had no choice.
See ya. Night, Paul.
For the rest of the week, Kevin and Kara are inseparable. They explore the lake, share ice creams, and laugh under the stars. It's a picture-perfect summer fling, one that seems almost too good to be true. But as Kevin dives deeper into his romance with Kara, the people he left behind begin to feel the strain.
Since this is our last night, I thought we'd spend it with each other. Together.
But, Dad...
Kev, I mean it.
Part of me knew he was right, but another part of me knew something more.
I can't stay, Dad.
Kevin, sit down.
Why?
Because I say so. And I'm your father.
There it was. My whole life, they'd been his final words.
I'm sorry. I'm going.
As the week draws to a close, Kevin faces the heart-wrenching reality of saying goodbye to Kara. Their farewell is wistful, filled with promises that they both know will be hard to keep. As the night ends, we're reminded of the beautiful, yet transient nature of summer, and summer love itself. In the end, Kevin learns a valuable lesson about the balance between love and friendship, and the inevitability of change. In Season 5, Episode 14, Private Butthead, we see Wayne Arnold, Kevin's older brother, grappling with the uncertainty of his future.
Wayne, you have to concentrate or you're never going to be ready for your SATs.
Well, I don't know why I have to take them. I already took them once.
I know, honey, but you just need to do a little bit better.
You know, I don't see what the big deal about college is anyway. It's not like if I don't go, I'm going to get drafted or something.
Luckily, Wayne's draft lottery number was 312.
After struggling to prepare for his SATs, Wayne gives up on the idea of going to college. Feeling lost and looking for direction, he and his friend Wart make a bold decision. They decide to join the Army.
He's going in to take his physical.
The Army was quite another.
What are you talking about?
You heard him.
And suddenly, war had broken out again.
I thought we said you weren't going to do that.
No, Dad. You said I wasn't gonna do it.
Wayne, you're not going anywhere.
Oh, yes, I am, Dad. And this time you're not gonna stop me.
Fine. But if you go down there, don't expect me to get you out of this.
Maybe Dad was bluffing, maybe not. In any event.
Bye, Dad.
This time, Wayne didn't blink.
With the Vietnam War still raging, Wayne's decision sends shockwaves through the Arnold family. The fear that Wayne could be shipped off to fight becomes a heavy cloud hanging over their heads. Jack Arnold, Wayne's father, is particularly troubled by this decision. Although he objects, he ultimately realizes that Wayne is an adult now and must make his own choices. Wayne and Wart go through the process of enlisting, but things take an unexpected turn.
I wanted so much more for you.
I failed my physical. I've got psoriasis. They're afraid my back would really peel in the jungle. Psoriasis. Can you believe that? I couldn't even do this right.
It's okay. It's okay.
I just didn't know what else to do.
Wayne is rejected due to psoriasis, a skin condition, while Wart is accepted. This twist of fate brings a mix of relief and guilt to Wayne, knowing his friend is heading to a dangerous war zone while he stays behind. Wart is sent to Fort Polk in Louisiana for training and 2 months later shipped off to Vietnam. The reality of the war hits home for the Arnold family, especially for Wayne, who must come to terms with his own future while his friend faces the uncertainties of combat. Meanwhile, Kevin is also forced to think about his future. His guidance counselor, Mrs. Rubner, urges him to start planning for college, adding to the pressure of teenage life, as he deals with the expectations placed on him and the reality of his brother's situation. This episode beautifully displayed the uniqueness of growing up during this tumultuous time. Wayne's journey from carefree teenager to a young man facing serious life decisions was a distressing reality of life many young people faced during the Vietnam era. The bond between Wayne and his father, Jack, is tested but ultimately strengthened as they handle these challenges together. This episode is a powerful reminder of the impact of war on families and the tough decisions that come with growing up. As we watch the Arnold family grapple with these issues, it brings to mind our own family journeys and the lessons learned along the way. In Season 5, Episode 16, Double Double Date, we see Kevin nursing a crush on Inga Finnstrom, the new Swedish exchange student. With hopes high and confidence low, he turns to his longtime friend Winnie Cooper for help in setting up a date with her. Winnie agrees to help Kevin, but there's a catch. In return, she asks Kevin to introduce her to Matt Stevens, the new guy in his history class. It's a classic case of mutual assistance, setting the stage for a series of unexpected twists.
Kevin, I talked to Inga.
You did? Really? What'd she say?
She said she'd like to meet you.
Yumpin' Yiminy.
No kidding.
And suddenly all bets were on.
So, do you think she'd go to the spring formal with me?
I'm not sure, but I do know that she doesn't have a date yet.
Oh, thanks, Winnie. I knew I could count on you.
What a girl. What an ex. Always there for me.
No strings attached.
Kevin, just one thing.
Huh?
Matt Stevens.
Who?
You know, the new guy. He's in your history class?
You have the hots for Matt Stevens?
No, I just want to meet him.
Which, of course, was a reasonable request. Still,
Winnie, I don't think he's right for you.
What do you mean?
Well, he didn't even know when the War of 1812 started.
Kevin, come on. You know, I'm doing you a favor.
and of course stated that way, what choice did I have?
Things take an awkward turn when Matt suggests they all go on a double date to the spring formal. Kevin and Winnie are soon caught in a tangled web of old feelings and new connections. At the dance, it's the battle of the exes, as Kevin and Winnie navigate the night with each other's less than perfect dates.
Would you ever get lonely here?
Yeah, sometimes I get lonely, but then I tell myself, don't be lonely, and then I'm not lonely.
And I guess that's when it hit me. When it came to brains, this chick was a Swedish meatball.
Yeah.
The tension between Kevin and Winnie is palpable, but so is the undeniable connection between them. The pivotal moment arrives when Matt asks Inga for a dance, leaving Kevin and Winnie alone together. Then Kevin and Winnie decide to dance as well. As they start to slow dance, something magical happens. Despite the awkwardness, they find themselves drawn back to each other. In that quiet moment on the dance floor, Kevin and Winnie's old love flame is rekindled. They ditch their dates to talk and head to their special spot, the Point.
I knew it was crazy. She knew it was crazy. And that car couldn't move fast enough for the both of us.
At the Point, they open up to each other, sharing their thoughts and feelings. As they get closer, both find it hard to make the first move, leading to a sweet, almost accidental kiss on the eye.
Right on the eye. And then she kissed me. On my eye.
What happened?
I'm not sure.
And the thing is, neither of us knew.
This moment illustrates the evolution of their relationship. They realize they need to take their time and hold on to the special connection they have, understanding that there are still things they need to discover about themselves before they can truly be together. Season 5, Episode 23, Back to the Lake, wraps up the season's storyline between Winnie and Kevin. It also teaches Kevin a life lesson he soon will appreciate. We see Kevin Arnold finds himself frustrated. Instead of a carefree summer, he's stuck with a summer job, much to his dismay. His parents insist it's time for him to learn responsibility, but Kevin longs for the freedom of past summers. Kevin's friends aren't having much fun either. Wayne lands a job at the loading dock at Norcom, Jack's company. Winnie is working at a diner, and Paul has become an assistant manager at a Chinese restaurant. Kevin, however, takes a remedial position at the restaurant, feeling more trapped than ever.
I thought you told me I'd be doing what you're doing.
Not exactly. I said I'd see what I can do on short notice.
Well, thanks for nothing.
黄观众，把刀子给我，把刀子给我！偷渡过，才不想想想，我那里钱可不坏小呢。哎，
What did he say?
I think he said those onions should be chopped a little finer.
Great. Just great.
Look, Kev, don't get discouraged. I'll tell you what, in a few days, I'll see if you can get moved up to noodles.
喂，老唐队，
Yes, sir.
两水吗？啊？
Yes, sir.
Butthead.
On his way to work with Paul, Kevin is overcome by nostalgia. He remembers the fun he had with his friends in previous summers and decides on a whim to recapture that magic. He spontaneously heads back to the lake, hoping to rekindle the romance with his summer love from last year, Kara.
When the world has closed the door on adventure, and your only choice is to bust out.
Kevin, what are you doing? I'm calling in sick today. What? You heard me. But we can't do that. Wait a minute, where are we heading? North. To the lake.
Kevin arrives at the lake with high hopes, but things don't go as planned. Kara is surprised and not particularly thrilled to see him. She feels hurt and confused, thinking Kevin wasn't interested in her anymore. Kevin's attempt to kiss her is met with rejection, leaving him to reflect on his actions and the people he's hurt.
What's wrong?
I better go home.
What? Why?
I don't know. I have to work tomorrow.
All right, well then I'll drive you home.
No, I'd rather walk.
Carl, wait. Kara!
The next morning, in a heartfelt conversation, Kara reveals that she has moved on and now has a boyfriend.
Well, that's great.
You think?
Yeah. I really do.
I mean, who was I to stand in the way of true love?
Hey. Send me a Christmas card.
I will.
As Kevin sits alone by the lake, he realizes the mistake he's made. In his fit of summer madness, he chased after a fleeting romance with Kara, while leaving behind the one person who has always been there for him, Winnie. Kevin returns home with a newfound sense of clarity. He realizes that the simplicity and joy of past summers can't be recaptured by running away. Instead, he needs to appreciate the people in his life and the responsibilities that come with growing up. Kevin learns a valuable lesson about love, responsibility, and the importance of cherishing the relationships that truly matter. It's a poignant reminder that growing up means facing the present, not running back to the past. As Season 5 comes to a close, it sets the stage for the final 6th season. The characters are on the brink of adulthood, and the series prepares us for the inevitable changes and challenges that lie ahead. The groundwork is laid for a powerful conclusion, one that will bring Kevin's story full circle. The final season of The Wonder Years premiered with the episode Homecoming. The episode opens with Kevin Arnold, now in 11th grade, navigating the complexities of teenage life with his girlfriend, Winnie, by his side and his best friend, Paul, as class president. But Kevin's world is evolving, and he's starting to become a bit of a wise guy in class, influenced by his new friend, Jeff Billings, the first kid he ever knew whose parents were divorced. Kevin takes on a new role as the delivery guy at Mr. Chong's, and his car becomes a moving billboard for the restaurant. This new job brings its own set of challenges, especially when Winnie feels embarrassed to ride with him, particularly up at Mountain View Drive. The Point.
Mr. Chong made me put it on if I wanted the delivery job.
Pick me up at the side entrance, okay? Thanks.
It was my first taste of what they call the working man's blues. Not that I was complaining, you understand.
Meanwhile, Wayne, Kevin's older brother, has become a working man with a job in the mailroom at Norcom. He's taken up residence in the family's basement, marking a significant step in his journey towards adulthood.
Take home.
Don't forget to unwrap that before you eat it. Vanish, scrote.
Not only that, He'd moved into new digs in the basement. His own personal, customized rat's nest. He was happy as a clam in mud.
The main plot of Homecoming revolves around a rivalry with Central High School. When Central steals their school's night mascot, Kevin sees an opportunity to make a name for himself by stealing Central's owl mascot. However, in a moment of reflection, he decides to set the owl free. The compelling part of the episode is the return of Wayne's old buddy, David Wortschafter, from Vietnam. Wart's homecoming is far from celebratory. Instead, he's met with anonymous shouts of "murderer" at the big game.
Gangway screw. Watch it, butthead. Hey, it's Mr. Butthead to you, okay? What was that? Nothing. Hey, forget it. Didn't mean anything, okay?
Yeah, they probably just...
Yeah, sure. Hey, listen, I'm gonna take a walk, okay? Okay, well, I'll go with you. Nah, it's okay. I'm gonna go check out the old school. I'll be back. Really, save my seat. Yeah, okay, well, I'll see you there.
What the heck? You had to figure where he'd been, the guy could take care of himself. Besides, no sense letting a few rotten apples spoil the whole night.
This scene captures the harsh realities faced by returning soldiers during that era. In a powerful and emotional moment, Wayne finds Wart sitting alone on a baseball field bench, struggling with his return to civilian life. Wayne offers him the shirt off his own back, symbolizing the deep bond between them and the support they offer each other in times of need.
I know. Nothing seems to fit anymore.
Throughout the episode, we see Kevin grappling with his own issues while witnessing the struggles of those around him. His history teacher, Mr. Deeks, and the dynamics at school provide a backdrop for Kevin's continued journey of self-discovery. Homecoming is a beautifully crafted episode that captures the essence of the Wonder Years. It blends nostalgia with the raw truths of growing up. In Season 6, Episode 10, it's December 1972, and the Arnold family is in the midst of significant change. Norma, the loving matriarch, graduates from Fremont Community College, marking a proud and transformative moment for her and the family. This achievement sets the stage for the family's evolving dynamics. Meanwhile, Jack, recently unemployed, is determined to invest in the future. He and his friend Charlie decide to take a leap of faith and apply for a bank loan to open their own furniture factory business. The holiday season, however, brings unexpected challenges. Charlie backs out at the last minute, returning to Norcom to support his family, leaving Jack to face the uncertain future alone.
Jack, what happened?
He's not coming. He crapped out.
Why?
I'll tell you why. He doesn't have the money.
It was horrible. And then...
I knew it.
Things got worse.
Let's get the hell out of here.
But in true Arnold family spirit, Norma steps in to support Jack. Together they manage to secure the loan, showcasing their resilience and unwavering commitment to one another. It's a testament to the strength of their partnership and a reminder of the power of hope and perseverance during the holiday season. On the other side of the story, Kevin is dealing with his own set of problems. When he and his friend Jeff see Winnie at the mall with a large wrapped box, Kevin assumes the gift is for him.
What are you doing here?
Just some shopping.
Uh-huh.
So, what did you get?
Just some stuff.
Right.
Oh.
It was pretty obvious that in that box was something large for a medium-sized Arnold.
Well, I better get going.
Yeah. We're better get going also. Yeah, we got some stuff to buy.
See ya.
Did you see the size of that box? Yeah. So what are you gonna do, man?
There was really only one thing to do.
Determined to reciprocate with something equally special, he sets his sights on buying her an expensive cashmere sweater. Kevin goes the extra mile, working hard at his job at Mr. Chong's, and even mustering the courage to ask for a raise. His determination is a classic example of the lengths we go to for those we care about, especially during the holidays.
I need a raise!
There, the universal language. And what else could the guy say but...
Get back to work. Hey, good boy.
However, the gift exchange doesn't go as Kevin anticipated. After spending his hard-earned money on the sweater, he's surprised to receive a new bread album from Winnie. This moment beautifully captures the often bittersweet and unexpected nature of gift giving and the importance of thoughtfulness over material value. Kevin's reaction is a mix of disappointment and realization. That comes from dealing with the intricate nature of relationships and the process of understanding the true spirit of giving. In Season 6, Episode 21, Summer, the episode kicks off with Winnie landing a summer job at a resort, where she'll be living and working for the season. This marks a significant step for Winnie, as she steps into a world of independence and responsibility. Meanwhile, Kevin is left behind, grappling with his own plans for the summer. Kevin, eager for adventure, plans a cross-country trip with his friends. However, his father, Jack, quickly puts a stop to the idea, deeming it too dangerous and impractical. This parental intervention forces Kevin to rethink his summer plans, creating tension between him and his father.
I don't believe it. What are you doing here?
I was just making a phone call.
You're supposed to be out there working. I can't leave you for 1 minute.
What's your problem?
What was that?
Dad, get off my back!
What?
You're on top of me every second telling me how to run my life. Do this, don't do that. I hate this job. What's going on here?
You know what your problem is?
Yeah, I can't stand it here.
You think you're too good for this job.
And that's when it happened. I looked at those guys, and all I saw was mediocrity and hard work and being chained down the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because maybe this job is good enough for you, but it's not good enough for me.
Fine. You don't want to work here. I don't want you here.
And after 17 years of living under my father's thumb...
Okay. I quit. I'm out of here.
Determined not to let his summer be ruined, Kevin makes a bold decision. He quits his job at his dad's factory and secures a position at the same resort where Winnie works. This decision is driven by his desire to be close to her, hoping for a summer filled with romance and togetherness. However, reality hits hard. Kevin's romantic expectations are quickly dashed as he and Winnie find themselves too busy with their demanding jobs to spend any quality time together. The dream of a perfect summer starts to fade, replaced by the grind of daily responsibilities. In an attempt to lift his spirits, Kevin takes a risk and joins a poker game with some seasoned pros.
Like they say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
I'll raise you 20 back.
I fold.
Well, what do you know? The pot is mine. Okay, Kevin.
Way to go, Kev.
Against the odds, he wins big, regaining some of his lost confidence and excitement. This unexpected victory seems like a turning point, but it's only temporary. The high is short-lived as Kevin faces a heart-wrenching reality. He catches Winnie in a moment of intimacy with a coworker, shattering his hopes and trust. This betrayal hits Kevin hard. As the episode concludes, Kevin walks away from the resort, reflecting on the summer that was supposed to be perfect. This moment illustrates the unpredictability of life and love. This episode, Summer, was an emotional ride, portraying the highs and lows of young love and the struggle for independence, the moments that define our teenage years. As we watch Kevin contend with these challenges, it easily brings to mind our own journeys and defining moments during our teenage lives. Season 6, Episode 22, Independence Day, is a roller coaster of emotions. The episode starts with Kevin reeling from the revelation of Winnie's kiss with a coworker.
And that's when I knew. For sure.
Winnie.
What? Let go.
I saw you. Last night. At the party, I saw you. I came looking for you and they told me you were with Eric. And when I found you, you were kissing him.
Furious and heartbroken, he seeks solace in a familiar, albeit risky, escape. Another poker game. But this time, luck isn't on his side.
Straight.
Full house.
4 jacks.
Oy, oy, oy.
Well, what do you know? The pot is mine, huh?
Take the bus. There you go.
Un auto nuevo para todos.
Kevin's impulsiveness leads to disaster as he loses all his money and even his car in the poker game. His anger and frustration boil over, culminating in a physical confrontation with the guy Winnie kissed. Kevin's rash decisions continue as he quits his job. Winnie's world is also turned upside down. She loses her job due to the fallout from Kevin's actions and decides to hitch a ride back home, a journey that mirrors Kevin's own path to reflection and redemption. In a twist of fate, Kevin hitches a ride and is picked up by the same couple that picked up Winnie moments earlier. This unexpected reunion sets the stage for a candid and emotional confrontation. As they argue, tensions reach a boiling point, leading to both being dropped off at the side of the road in the sweltering summer heat. A sudden thunderstorm forces Kevin and Winnie to seek refuge in an old barn. This intimate setting becomes a backdrop for their deepest conversation yet.
It's just... somehow I thought we'd be together, you know?
Yeah. Together forever.
After Kevin discovers the sounds outside to be just a horse in the barn, he comes back to an emotional Winnie, setting the scene for a final passionate moment between the two.
Winnie.
I don't want it to end.
The next day, Kevin and Winnie make their way back home, arriving just in time for the Independence Day parade. This moment symbolizes a return to their roots and the enduring bond they share with their hometown and each other. As the parade unfolds, Kevin reflects on the fates of himself, his family, and his friends.
Winnie left the next summer to study art history in Paris. Still, we never forgot our promise. We wrote to each other once a week for the next 8 years. I was there to meet her when she came home, with my wife and my first son, 8 months old.
It's a touching conclusion that encapsulates the soul of the Wonder Years, a blend of nostalgia, heartache, and the inevitable march of time. Independence Day is more than just an episode. It's an end of a unique story that featured the power of forgiveness and the enduring strength of love and friendship. The Wonder Years left an indelible mark on television history.